He's like foundational Black Americans because foundational Black Americans became foundational Black Americans.
Hey, ma'am, you better fix your face. Hey, y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. So you already know what to do. Share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe, because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. These people, boy, I tell you, man, these TV conservatives are the worst, blood. So I got DJ Akademiks talking to Candace Owens, and they bring up Tariq Nasheed and foundational Black Americans, and she decides to roll her eyes and drink her drink. All right. So you're just going to insult Black society. Well, most of it. And you think that's cute. Well, ma'am, unfortunately, you brought it to my doorstep. Now, for most of y'all that know, I'm not foundational Black American. My parents and my lineage is not of this land. It is in the Caribbean. But my wife is. So is my daughter. So is her father's side of the family. I'm not tolerating this disrespect. Because we're all in this global fight of white supremacy. And yes, we have our share of agitators and coons that don't want to fight. But, ma'am, when you bring up the group that has fought, bled, and died for what you just did on film, you better pay homage. Now, let me pack up Akakun before I get to you. Akakun, listen, you're the same one who said, as long as she got an ID, if she's 17, I'm smashing, you can go somewhere. And we're still waiting for you to drop that interview. I'm sure you probably dropped it by the time this video drops, but if you didn't, shame on man, oh man. And then you said that hip hop was created by Jamaicans. You're like that Jacqueline Germain from CNN who said the same damn thing, ended up deleting her account. Man, y'all are just the worst, man. Y'all make people from a Caribbean background look bad. And you also look like Stephen A. Smith's son, but I'm not going to belabor that. So let's get over to your new best friend, Candace. Ma'am, you know better. Candace, you know better. You are on the internet. You know the climate of what's going on out here. You know how FBA moves. You know this. All right. You stay on Instagram. You stay on Twitter. You understand what's going on out here. And for you to sit up there and make that face and basically have no regard for FBA, it's bad enough that they bang on you when you say something stupid. Now the worst thing you can do for foundational Black Americans and ADOS and Freedmen is have their undivided attention, because they will run you off the block to the point where you will never be allowed around here again. Not saying that you are, but they'll put out the edict that even B1 will not even rock with you. You went into that interview ready to knock them. And you were just waiting for your opportunity. You were waiting for that alley-oop. And Akademiks gave it to you. And you showed exactly where you stood. Funny thing, because I didn't see you roll your eyes and just sip your water when them white supremacists and the LGBT came for your kid's life on Facebook some years back, making fun of your kid. Seeing how hopefully that kid does not grow up to be a coon like you. We saw the comments. I have a video where I showed the comments. Now, granted, my history with you, I defended you. When I first heard your name in 2016 when Kanye mentioned it, being from New York, your name was quite vaguely familiar. Because I remembered your court case back in 2008. It was a big story. And I guess you disappeared at that point, or underground, I should say. I shouldn't say you disappeared. You went underground. Came back during the 2016 election cycle, started stumping for Trump, talking, for the conservatives and everything. Then you started getting on the circuit after Gamergate. And I was like, oh, okay, you know what? She's saying the right thing. She's saying a lot of us in the black community are saying, cool, you know what? This might be an ally. And then you slowly started showing your allegiance to everyone. Again, I still gave you your credit when you said something right. So I don't want people to think that I've always been at your neck. Hell, I reviewed your book. I said it read like a history book, but you know what? It's pretty good. I defended you when you went down to Atlanta for the Revolt Summit. And you held your own because that was hostile territory. We know everybody on that panel wanted to take a shot at you, including T.I. And I defended you because you were saying the right things. Killer Mike was agreeing with what you were saying. You guys were having meaningful dialogue, even though T.I. and them were yelling at you. I was like, okay, maybe she's seeing the light now. Maybe she'll be a voice. I mean, we could use her as a mercenary. 2020, you were talking for black folks. Everything was gravy. I kept saying during that election cycle, hey, we need to use the black conservatives to our advantage, especially the ones on TV, because they can get the message of what we need to the masses. Then George Floyd hit. And you decided to go on your live and not only make Derek Chauvin benevolent via outlining how George Floyd was a bad individual, but in that live, you almost, now I don't know if you did this intentionally or it was just a byproduct of what you were saying, but you basically justified George Floyd getting his life snuffed out on film. And that day on, I said, I can't rock with this. I can't rock with you anymore. I don't care what George Floyd did. I don't care how he lived his life. You cannot be what you call a conservative, pro-life and all that, and watch this man get his life snuffed out on film. I don't care who it is. There has to be a certain regard for human life. And I'm sure people in your crowd, just like there's people over here, have watched family members, have watched friends, have watched people take their last breaths on this earth. Everything after that point, my opinion, is justified. Because that's a natural, healthy reaction to watching someone lose their life. But you made it as, oh, he deserved it. That's how your life came off as. And as egregious as that was, I was still saying, you know what? You can have a redemption arc. You can. I figured the day you interviewed Trump and he showed you where he stood, even though you were stumping for him, wearing the MAGA hat, talking about how he was going to change the nation, which he did, you would have said, okay, he told me exactly where he stood. Let me ease back a little bit and let me get back to the middle. No, you kept moving, and it leads us to this moment where you knock FBA. You and Akademiks come from immigrant backgrounds. Now, I know people like, that's not true. Yes. Her grandfather was born in North Carolina. I believe her father was too. But her grandfather said something very interesting, which I'm going to post on the screen. He said, we have family all over the world, many different nations, many different flags. So she's what the FBAs call a tether. And not only is she a tether, she's the worst kind of tether. She's a tether that knows what's going on out here, but she willfully distances herself away from the community at large because she doesn't want to embrace the fact that she is what she is. Ma'am, you're not a white woman. You can't play white. I know you've heard that many a time. Hell, you can't even play Afro-Latina. You're one of us. In a sense of you're a black woman. Life is going to be cruel to you, ma'am, and it's already shown you that. This world is going to be cruel to you. The world's already shown you that. You should be contrite at this point. Getting online, mocking FBA and what they're fighting for is not the wave. Because what you're going to do is you're going to mess around and have not only FBA, you're going to have ADOS, you're going to have Freedmen and certain sectors of B1 giving you their undivided attention. And that's going to be the worst thing you've ever had experienced in your life. Because you have seen, and if 2020 is a great indicator, what I'm about to say next is going to come true. When they say something or do something, the whole world takes note. The whole world takes stock in however their end goal ends up being. That's going to be the new normal. So if they decide that day, you, your best friend, the Iron Sambo, Brandon Tatum, who was that chick? Your Captain Marvel wannabe Amala Ekpanobi, who, by the way, is going to turn on you in 2 years. Watch what I tell you. And all these other conservatives you put on, since you're den mother, I guess, of the TV conservative movement, the second that society puts their targets on y'all are going to be irrelevant. Trust me when I say that. That's not something you want. You can hide behind your white followers and your non-black followers and the coons that buck dance for you. They're going to be rendered irrelevant. So I'm going to warn you. This is no threat, but I'm going to warn you. Respectfully. Change your attitude. Because that's not a fight you're going to win. But anyway, let me get up out of here. You already know what to do. Share, like, and subscribe. That's right. Share, like, and subscribe because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. Take care. Stay safe. I'm out.